Alright, so we're here on, I think this was Dry Arabia? Yeah, Dry Arabia for game 2 between Beastie in the yellow, Marine Lord in the red. So last game was a nice Rus versus Mali game. Beastie opting for Mali again, and Marine Lord switching to Mali. It's interesting to see a tournament where our players aren't having to pick a different civ every game. Is this because of whinging from StarCraft 2 players, or is this actually supposed to be some healthy thing for the game? I don't know. No, I'm not trying to throw shade at the EGC devs, organisers or anything, but I don't know. Personally, I like the idea of you play a civ once and you win with it, and then it's banned for you, but not for your opponent. Although, in saying that, there is also the opportunity to do a whole, if you win with a civ, you can't use it in the next game. And I think that's a nice compromise between the two, so maybe we'll have to suggest that to the EGC guys in time for the next tournament. So, here on Dry Arabia, a nice open land-only map. So we're going to see a bit of difference to last game. So both our players just going to race up to 6 houses for their free gold trickle from the pit mine. Don't have to worry about any gold gathering early on, because it just happens overnight here, bro. And the beauty of this is it doesn't actually draw any gold from the mines, from the pit mine generation. Which is very useful on a civ like Mali, because while they've got probably the best gold eco in the game, they've also got probably the most gold expenses for their light compositions in the game. But in saying that, going down that path and using Farimba Garrison in Age 3 also does come at an overall resource cost saving, I think. On top of that, lets you, produce units in batches. Doesn't let you shit them out individually, quite like, say, the Burgrave Palace, but it does give you the opportunity to batch up any unit of your choice and make 5 of them at once at a nice discount. But it is all a gold cost, so what's going on here? Oh, okay, never mind. He's just gone for his age up. I was gonna say, idling at this level, impossible. The players both going for Mansa Quarry. Beastie slightly later with his, but he's actually committing another villager to building it. So he is going to finish it up slightly quicker than his opponent. While Marine Lord over here, slowly working away, chopping them trees down, gathering that food. The players have only gone for a single scout apiece here. No commitment to a second scout. Interesting. Very interesting. Admittedly, guys, I'm a bit out of touch with the current metagame. But it's interesting to see our high-level players just going for a single scout rather than running with dual scout. Especially considering with Mali, you can actually upgrade them to be a fairly cost-effective harassing unit. Use them rather than having to rely on horsemen or knights to get that nice, quick mounted harass. Be a real pest to your opponent's villages. And force them to have to produce some number of spearmen, or stay fairly even in cavalry and try and either engage cav v cav, or try and just reverse the pressure by putting on some themselves with harassing. So we are going to see Warrior Scout here, by the look of it from both players. And again, another reason why I think it's so weird that they're only going to one scout before aging up, but I mean, they've probably done a mix of theory crafting and real practice to determine how they want to play this. So another little sheep drop off there for Marine Lord. Players starting to mount up their Warrior Scout counts, so these guys jumping up to 7 damage from 2 damage with that upgrade. It still doesn't seem like a lot, but at the same time, they do attack reasonably fast. They do have a nice bonus against other scouts too. And yeah, you get a good number of these, like 5 or 6 of them. You can actually, yeah, surround villages, pick them off quite easily. Start working away at your opponent's pit mines. So Marine Lord gonna interrupt the mining camp there. Don't know if BC actually cancelled that or if it was just destroyed. Oh yeah, it looks like it was just destroyed. So Marine Lord. First, well, it's not really first blood. He hasn't actually killed any units. But he does the first. A little bit of damage to an opponent here. Nothing really that significant though. Beastie finishing up his mining camp, but he's actually pulled the villager back to come and pit mine the other gold mine. Marine Lord doing pretty much the same thing. He's already gone for that early mining camp and looking to pit mine the other mine. Beastie basically able to pull back a whole herd of these deer at once. So he's got those 6 scouts doing so. But at the same time, this is meaning that there's going to be a bit of harass being done here. So Marine Lord going to be able to get 2 of these houses really low. Beastie sending a repairer now, but Marine Lord going to finish off the first of the houses, get the other one low enough that it will burn out before it's going to repair as well. So Beastie going to have to replace those to bump up his gold trickle. So far this is looking really nice for Marine Lord. He's managed to basically destroy 100 resources worth of shit. I was going to say stuff, but then I thought, oh fuck it. Let's not get too politically correct now. Swearing is okay, guys. It's not yet a jailable offense in the Western world. Oh, and this is really cheeky of Beastie. He's going to try and steal all of these deer off his opponent here. Marine Lord going to be able to take an engagement here, but Beastie's going to come out on top by the look of it. Which is good for Beastie because he's not really able to retreat here all that safely until the actual carcass carriers all get killed. And so overall the fight does end up going Marine Lord's way in the long run there. It was looking like it was going quite well for Beastie, but that's when he's going to have to retreat. Donso production already for Marine Lord, while Beastie opting for a second stable, so Beastie is going to have the mobility advantage here, but at the same time, hard engagements are really going to go Marine Lord's way the longer this goes on, until they actually both start adding a bit more production than this. So Beastie going to have to be careful and sort of leverage this, you know, the health of the buildings that Marine Lord's going to try and focus down here, you know, to take a nice engagement, get that first chunk of damage off, and even try and just kill individual Donso as soon as possible before the actual main fight goes down, because otherwise Marine Lord going to have all that counter damage going his way. These guys, very cost effective against cavalry. Maybe slightly less so against warrior scouts than the other cavalry units, considering these guys. These scouts aren't all that expensive. Only 90 resources. I believe spearmen are 80, but now Beastie got his archery range, so he'll be able to make archers and focus down the Donso. Even deal a little bit of ranged damage to the warrior scouts, but man, overall this destruction value is really going Marine Lord's way at the moment. So for his third production choice, he's just committing to another barracks. Beastie committing to 2 range, 2 stables. Beastie's actually squeezed out a third production facility over his opponent here. Marine Lord really starting to bank a little bit of food, but Beastie banking a little bit of gold. I think both our players are going to try and take a fairly quick castle age if they can, but at the same time, they're trying to win this little arm wrestle. Marine Lord slowly seems to be getting more and more value out of this. So what's the plan, man? Probably should actually bump down my scroll speed. People often whinge that if you've got anything more than minimum scroll speed that, oh, it's unwatchable, it makes me sick. Toughen up, ya bitch. So for Imber Garrison, a lot of villagers committing to that. Marine Lord able to squeeze it out a little bit quicker than his opponent, Beastie here. I mean, he's dealt, you know, nearly 1,000 resources worth more damage, and on top of that, he's slowed down Beastie's gold trickle here. And Beastie still going to have to get a fair bit of food as well in order to be able to get to age 3 here, but, you know, Beastie is up in production until the Farimba Garrison finishes. Slightly later on his blacksmith than Marine Lord is. Still very similar timings on that. Beastie going to start... Sorry, Marine Lord going to start committing to Ecotechs. Beastie already has done so. He's got his food and his wood. Oh, actually so is Marine Lord. But he's actually going to sneak in specialized pick before Beastie does. So particularly in situations like this where you've got a little bit of kill value advantage, taking Ecotechs can be just as impactful as taking extra armory tech, blacksmith techs before your opponent. Considering it just makes all your workers that little bit more valuable. At least you're really going to have to try and micro the archers to focus down the Donso before they go down to the cavalry of Beastie here. The archer count really thinned out, more Donso joining the mix here, so I think Beastie's going to have to retreat. Marine Lord looking to transition to veteran archers, having that Farimba Garrison already out. So Beastie already tapping out, and we're only about 12 minutes into the game here. Fight's not going very well for him. Where did the army go in the end of that? Where are you? Just disappeared. Anyway, that concludes game 2, guys. Here they are over here.